Welcome to my kitchen. I wanted to go ahead and make this a video so that we could introduce the rest of our semester and what it's going to be like to transition online. This is the announcement that will be posted along with this video. I just wanted to go ahead and make all of this at once as opposed to making the announcement and then making the video. This is just a standard announcement. You've probably seen it in some of your other classes. The big thing to note is that because we had this extended week for break, we are going to be extending the spring semester by 1 week. So it will now end on Friday, May 15th. Mostly I will be using Blackboard as our course site to communicate with you and Microsoft Teams. I'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's just hop right into some of the things that are changing. So our schedule has changed just a little bit. First thing to note is that the exam 3 will be postponed until April 14th. It was supposed to be on April 2nd, but because they have given this extra week and they have made April 9th a regular class day again, we are able to kind of adjust our schedule a little bit. So April 14th will be our exam 3. There is an updated schedule for the rest of the semester in the course resources tab. So on Blackboard, this is supposed to be floating on top. There we go. So for in the course resources, if you look at the updated schedule, it will have an updated syllabus for us. The highlighted portions are what are new. So starting on the 31st, so we start back on March 30th. Starting on the 31st will be our first lecture class back. We're actually going to finish Chapter 10. We still have a little bit left to do with that, with Chapter 10. Chapter 11 was just the muscles. We covered that in lab. I'm not going to harp on it too much. I want to hop right into Chapter 12 to make sure we have enough time. So there is still a pre-class worksheet for Chapter 11, though. Do not miss that. For Chapter 12, we're going to start on April 2nd. We'll start with the nervous tissue, and we'll kind of hop into that. There are pre-class worksheets. I'll have those posted. If it's not posted in the next day or so, then I will give you a little bit more time because I want you to always have a week with the pre-class worksheets. And then our exam will be on April 14th. I have 3 days set aside for nervous tissue. The way that it'll kind of work is that you'll have an assignment per week. Or you will have one kind of weekly, okay, here's what you're supposed to get done. So even though in the syllabus, I still break it up between the individual days, that just helps me with my timing. When you look at it, you'll just see the whole week. It's like, okay, here's what I have to do for this week. When we do exams, you will have, I will post exam. It will be available for 24 hours. You will have that 24 hours, or not even 24 hours, I'm sorry. It will be available for that time period during the day, most likely from 7 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. on that day. You will be able to take it once. It will be on Blackboard. I'll talk about that more in just a second. So hopefully if we don't need kind of all of this time, if it feels like we can actually get through nervous tissue a little bit faster, I will post a review. I will post an exam review outline like we always do. But hopefully you were using this extended time to really nail down the Chapter 10 stuff and that muscle physiology stuff. We'll continue on the rest of the semester. It's going to look very, very similar, just everything's pushed back a week basically. So our final exam will be on May 7th. Still cumulative. Exam 4 will be on April 30th. Just note some of those dates. I did amend the labs as well. So here's the Tuesday lab schedule. There's the Thursday lab schedule. I'm not going to get into them individually because that will just start to confuse people. Let's see. The FERPA release and academic integrity. So I added an extra tab that you can't see yet. Let me go in here and make this viewable for you. There we go. Hop back into student preview. Okay. So we have a tab for online support. If you go here, there are a couple of things that you need to note. The first thing is this FERPA release and academic honesty agreement. This is a quiz that is due on April 5th. Everybody needs to complete this quiz. The FERPA release allows me to discuss your grades with you online. The academic integrity pledge, just as we switch online, we just want to remind everyone and kind of keep that fresh in our minds that even though it's online, you still are expected to no cheating, no plagiarizing, no using outside resources when you're taking quizzes and exams. So this quiz just kind of is a formal recognition of that. For office hours, I'm going to be using Microsoft Teams. If you're not familiar with Microsoft Teams, there is a student guide right here for how to use it. And the school is also offering 24/7 support for Teams. That is why we're using that as opposed to something like Zoom or Top Hat or something different, because the school still provides 24/7 support for Blackboard and Microsoft Teams. My office hours are going to be from 4 to 5 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or by appointment if you need to schedule something. I'm going to be available 10 to 6 Monday through Friday, kind of via email or to schedule appointments. That's going to be my general availability time for you. The Microsoft Teams app allows you to either have, we essentially have been created a course. We have a course in Teams. I can pull it up. There you go. So we have the 2371 and the 2372 teams. This has all of our students. I will activate these. You've already been added to them. You don't have to do anything for it. I'll activate it and you'll get an email. Hey, you've been added to this course. This is, we can have a big group conversation here, or you can make individual private conversations, or we can also do video conferencing or audio conferencing if that's something that you would prefer. So that will be up in the next couple of days, maybe even by end of today. For content delivery for the lecture, everything is still going to be housed in the lessons tabs in their units. What you're going to see that's different though is that instead of just me lecturing with my notes and just speaking and you having to furiously write with them, which is probably what you have all been terrified is going to happen. We're going to use PowerPoints instead. So I think we did this for one of our missed days. I'm going to upload PowerPoints. They will have blanks in them. And then I will create lecture videos that are essentially like this, where I'm sharing my screen and you can see me. And my screen will be the completed PowerPoints. I'll talk through it. You can use those to fill in your notes and as the base for your notes. There'll also probably be some accompanying just extra assignments just to help reinforce the material since I won't be in class with you. These might just be videos to watch. There might be some questions that you have to make. It will just kind of depend on what feels appropriate. There'll still be the pre and post class worksheets. That's not going to be any different. That will still be the same. And for lab, we'll still use the lab manual and the McGraw-Hill Connect. There is a lab tab now. There's nothing in it yet. As we go through this, and if it feels like there needs to be, if there's something that I want off lab, if I do a video kind of going over some of the stuff in lab, which I most likely will, then I'll probably post those here. So that just so you know, when you see this lab tab, you're like, where did that come from? It's going to be for any additional lab material that we may need. Yeah. For quizzes and exams, I'm most likely going to be using Blackboard, although Connect does have a quiz and exam feature as well. I kind of like Blackboard better, but if it turns out that Connect, I need to use that, I'll let you know. That might just be a day's notice though, so if you don't have a Connect account now, if you for some reason still don't have one, it's going to be very important that you have one. Again, even though, just kind of reading through this announcement, even though we're online, he'll still held to the highest standard of academic integrity. I'll probably be using more short answer questions and time limits just to help maintain that integrity. It's going to happen. With multiple choice questions, if you have been studying it and you are prepared, it shouldn't take you more than 20 or 30 seconds to answer a multiple choice question. If I give you 45 seconds, that is more than generous time, I feel like. So be prepared when we do these tests. There will be time limits for the test. There will be time limits most likely for individual questions. And they will be randomized. They will be from different pools. So you probably will not have the same test or questions as one of your friends does. I can check and see how long you've been taking the test. So if you spend 5 minutes taking a 30-question test, you probably cheated and got the answers from somebody somehow. So there are ways that we're tracking this and we're trying to mitigate that. Hopefully it does not come, nothing comes from it. The test will most likely be available when we do our exams. It will be starting at 7 a.m. on the 14th until 11:59 p.m. the end of that day. So you will have just that one period of time to take this test. I'm not going to provide several days to do it. Tests are scheduled. The tutoring in the ILC Center does offer online tutoring. In the online support, there is a little document here that has the contact information, emails, and websites that you can visit to look at the different tutoring support that we do offer. Attendance. So we are still tracking attendance. There will essentially be 2 assignments that are ungraded that will track your attendance each week. Um, uh, these will be discussion board posts. It could be a quiz. It could be just submit this quick little assignment, just a little worksheet. Write down something real quick, just so I know that you're engaged. Sometimes I will present that in. Or I will tell you how that will be tracked at the beginning of each week. Sometimes if it's a discussion board post, it might just be that I've mentioned it in the lecture video. So as I'm going through the PowerPoint slides, I might say, okay, make a discussion board post about this. So you do actually have to watch the lecture videos in that case to find out what the discussion board post is. I know it's annoying for me. There will be an announcement at the beginning of each week of what is due and when it is due. Hopefully this will limit the announcements and emails that you have to get from me and make the transition a little bit smoother. So by 8 a.m. on Monday morning of each week, there will be one big announcement that just kind of says, okay, here's your lecture assignments, here are your lab assignments, here's what is due, here's when it is due. The attendance assignment will be in this, look for it here. And the attendance assignments will always be due at the same time. I haven't quite figured out what time of the week I want the attendance assignments due. But I'm trying to kind of, especially as we go online, the nice thing is to try and create a very established schedule. So I will figure out when the attendance assignments, I don't know why that's so hard for me to say, when those will be due, and you will know too. Okay, if I have forgotten something, let me just make sure. Oh yeah, etiquette statement. Be polite, be courteous. Just because you're online does not mean that you get to start treating people rudely. If comments appear to violate WCTIC's policies on harassment, they will be reported to the administration. So yeah, be polite. There's a discussion board. We have a discussion board. Online course questions. If you have any kind of questions about this transition, write them in here. If you don't want to email me directly, you can just write them on the discussion board. Your other students may answer them. I may answer them, just to kind of give us a place to be. And I think that's pretty much it. If there's something that I have forgotten, please let me know. Otherwise, look forward to starting our semester back.